What are you afraid of? Tacos and burritos? Come on.
Right? I haven't watched this
What the fuck?
specific clip yet. I've seen just brief parts of this, so this is a brand new clip to me too.
Today is the cartel supposed to be in the park? The sandwiches look really deadly.
Crap. So when I first saw it and started it, initially my reaction, like my raw reaction, is, why are they there? They don't belong there. You know?
Well, the answer is he's harassing blue areas where there's high immigrant populations because they were dumb enough to vote for him, and now he's taking it back out on anybody that's going to turn on him.
This meets the definition of terrorism.
Authoritarianism at a minimum.
Right.
But yeah, to show up to a park where families are just out, enjoying their day, where there's no gang activity, there's no cartel members staging, there's no violence happening, to show up in full riot gear, ready to murder a bunch of people with heavy artillery and weapons and automatic weapons and grenades. Like, look at these guys. They're set up to go take over Kuwait. Come on.
Yeah. They're not set up to keep peace. That's not a show of peace.
Well, look at this guy on the left. He's got a bulletproof vest, armored helmet, mask, ballistics glasses. He's taped up to make sure that everybody knows he's a police officer. He's carrying 3 clips of AR-15 ammo. He's got the next guy to him has multiple clips of AR-15 ammo. He's got his gun on his, they're armored to the tilt. This is, in my understanding, this is as heavy as they can get. And they're walking in there with mass gear and coordination. They're ready for violent, ballistic level response. This is not what you would expect for a group of kids playing soccer in the park on a beautiful afternoon. Come on. This is totally the government harassing LA with everything they've got. And they want, remember how I told you a while back, they want somebody to fight back. That's why they're going in it with everything they got. They want somebody to get injured so they can go martial law. They're provoking. They're trying to cause an incident.
That is obvious, right?
Now, the big question is, Trump recently said, well, if they elect that communist, I'm going to go take over New York. And if they don't do right and do the way I want in Washington, D.C., I'll take that over too. Well, now he's trying to take over L.A. by forcing this kind of stuff and forcing this. And he's talking about taking over multiple states. And the biggest question a lot of people should be asking is, why isn't this happening in Florida, which is one of the largest illegal immigration locations in the country? Why isn't this happening in Texas, one of the biggest illegal immigrations? That's where they all happen, is Texas and Florida. Why aren't they there doing this? Because they're red states, not blue states.
Right. And, so when I watched this first clip, or that clip, I watched it a few more times, and I ran into a couple other ones that were the opposite. It was telling me a different story. And in the story of the other videos, it was drone footage, and it was flying over drug addicts and ne'er-do-wells in the park. So they were telling a story of, you know why we're sending the ICE in there? Look at all the horribleness that's going on in this park. We're sending ICE in to clean it up. But the footage was not from that day. It was from, this is what normally goes on at MacArthur Park, is what they were saying.
Do you have that image I sent you with the genocide steps?
Send it to me in Messenger on Facebook. We can pull it up.
So there's this thing about the different steps of genocide, and we're on steps 7 and 8 right now. And if you look at it, this falls right under it. This is what they did to the Jews. Go find them and beat them with everything you got.
Did you send it?
No, give me a second.
Here, I'm gonna show you the other, what I think is propaganda from the other side.
Yeah, you know what they did?
It's unbelievable.
It's called Tenement Square.
Right. But see the story that they're telling about this?
This is what local police should be handling, not National Guard, not immigration services.
Right, not the freaking military.
That's what the police.
Gestapo.
And they've proven in multiple other places that you don't need, a hobo doing meth doesn't need 40 people on horseback and another 30 with AR-15s and multiple banana clips full of ammunition to go take care of them. What you need is medics. And some police officers.
Psychologists and therapists.
Well, you don't need those on scene. My point is, on scene, you need medics, medical people, and maybe a few police officers if shit gets rowdy. You don't need a full 2 groups armed to the teeth and tanks to take care of a couple of meth addicts that are passed out. No, this is overreach. This is abuse of power. This is, I sent you in a messenger. This is completely a push in order to get a tactical response so they can get martial law in place. Your rights repealed.
This is what we voted for.
No, I didn't vote for this shit. But honestly, in all fairness, I don't think 80% of the country voted for this. I think there are a portion that did vote for this, but I don't think almost anybody voted for this.
I question that. I would question it that no one.
This is not the party of Lincoln.
This would happen when they voted for it. Like, people thought that deportation was going to be awesome, but I think that picture is getting uglier by the day.
Well, revoking citizenships for those who went through the correct process to get it, green cards and all that kind of, yeah, look at this. Divide us into us and them. Like, they've been talking about how this person or that person's hurting us for years. They are forced to identify themselves. Well, you know what? New identification practices are in there. Discrimination. They've repealed DEI and all these other things, made them non-protected statuses. Now we can begin discriminating based on color and all sorts of stuff. People equate it to animals. I mean, they call immigrants animals all the time, and vermin and all that kind of stuff. They've talked about this for years. Trump's own words can be cited in video after video. Government creates specific groups to enforce these policies. That's ICE. Government broadcast propaganda. Welcome to Fox News or Truth Social. Official action to remove and relocate people. We're deporting people all over the place. Some of them people that obtained citizenship legally. That next step is the one that we're starting to run into. So theft of property, and my understanding is already starting to happen. We're already in that. People are dying in ICE custody through abuse and neglect. I think that's classified as murder, and trial massacres are.
When this incident happens, when this big incident happens, when ICE overreaches and someone decides to do something about it, I think that's where number 8 comes in. Beginning of murders, theft, and property, trial massacre.
It's already here. Like, number 8's already happening now. So, like, if you go look up ICE detention center deaths, we have tons of people dying in ICE detention or being shipped to areas where they're getting killed. Like, it's happening right now. 9 is the one that is next, and that's what they're trying to get to. They're trying to revoke citizenship on a bunch of people, and they're starting to round them up in places like Alligator, Alcatraz, and they're talking about building multiple others of those across the country. Texas lined up with their wallet out, ready to make that happen in their state. Like, that's next. And they're going to let people die in there. That's the elimination of the people. And the government's already denying that it has done anything wrong. And if you look at the Albrado Garcia. Oh, yeah. If you look at Albrado Garcia, like, the judge in that case is like, what the hell are you guys doing? It's
yeah.
Did you deport him by accident or no? Well, no, we didn't. He was a criminal. It's like, well, prove it. We can't do that. We can't do that. Sorry. It's like, okay, well, then you deported him. Well, I have it on tape that you said you deported him by accident. Well, that wasn't right. And then they're like, well, we did deport him by accident, but we're going to deport him again if you release him. It's like, what are you doing? You admitted you deported him by accident. You were forced to return him. They can't let him out of custody by the judge because they've already told everybody they're going to deport him again illegally. It's like, where's the arrests for the people doing this shit? This is terrorism. This is federal level kidnapping. This is federal kidnapping.
Thank God.
Unbelievable. So we're already through that whole list. It's just a matter of it ramping up. And wait until these guys start firing on civilians with live. All right. So the reality is, this is all a smokescreen. Like, they know this is hurting people. Trump has publicly admitted that it's hurting people. He's talked about slavery. He's talked about new green cards. He's talked about how immigrants can be good. So he knows this is all smokescreen. All this is a way of distracting the community, America, from what's really going on, which is the tax cuts, the wealth rebalancing, and the grabbing of power. This is a horrendous thing that he's using to distract America by having something horrendous in order for you guys not to be able to follow the other horrendous thing, which is the power grab, the totalitarian authoritarianism, the Epstein file debacle, all this other stuff is inconsequential for a lot of Americans because the illegal immigrants, which are only illegal because of what Trump's doing, is taking precedent. And arresting somebody at their green card hearing or, shooting a kid with a beanbag gun or whatever craziness, or running them down with horses. There's videos of them running people down with horses. Like, this is not humane. This is not how a civilized country should be dealing with people, because these are human beings. And, if there was a comment I saw, and it really exemplifies this issue. If they're hunting people down based on tax forms where they've submitted taxes, then we're not going after the illegals that are hurting America. We're going after illegals that are paying taxes. Where are we emptying out our jails?
They're adding to our economy at all.
And it's going to implode. Just saying.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Almost Above Average. If you found this conversation eye-opening or just as wild as the headlines, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review and drop a comment with your thoughts. Share this episode with someone who loves good political mystery. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. Send your feedback to mcmedia.network.llc@gmail.com with the subject feedback. And thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next one as we dig even deeper into stories that matter in our country.
In your comments, give us what your prediction for what's going to happen next is. Are we going to get a Tenement Square, or are we going to get something else?
Ooh, what's that going to be? Let us know. Peace. Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Almost Above Average. If you found the conversation eye-opening or just as wild as the headlines, please make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Share this episode with someone who loves a good political mystery, and don't forget, we want to hear from you. Send your feedback to mcmedia.network.llc@gmail.com with the subject feedback. And once again, thank you for listening, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Peace.